Hello everybody. Another video for you this week that has to do with poetry. For this week, for homework, I gave you a couple of the poems that we're actually going to be analyzing and possibly using for our essays. But what I mostly want to do for this week is just kind of set up, um, what it means to write about poetry, some of the different ways to look at it. And what I really want to do here is kind of emphasize the importance of like rhythm and rhyming with poetry, and to look at some things that poetry can do that a short story or a play can't do. Like I was talking about in the other video, I know that we hate poetry, but I'm hoping that with this video we can kind of see why it's necessary, why it's useful, why it's interesting, why it's worth looking at, and why, what we'd miss out if all we did was read short stories or novels. So the way that I want to do this is that I'm going to read The Bells by Edgar Allan Poe. Now, you should read that before watching this video. If you haven't read The Bells, which I posted on Moodle for this week, excuse me, you should go back and read that first. So, because what I want you to think about is how different the experience of reading it is versus hearing it be read out loud. Poetry was always kind of meant to be read out loud. Famous poets would have readings at bookstores or, various places. Especially like these shorter poems, obviously like the Odyssey or something. Well, I guess that started as like an oral thing, right? But then they wrote it down. And after that, I don't think too many people read it out loud, right? But poetry was kind of expected to be read out loud. And I think that we can see something about rhythm and rhyming by doing it this way, because there's also like a particular way to read poetry, to kind of get into the rhythm, especially this like old-fashioned rhythm, this iambic pentameter that I've talked about before. So anyway, go and read that poem and just see what you get out of it. So pause the video, go do that. Okay, and now you're back. Now you've done that. You probably didn't like it very much. You're probably pretty confused by this poem. You probably didn't know what to make of it. I think that's normal. I think that makes sense. And I don't think I really have a fully fleshed like analysis or argument about this poem, but I think we can get more out of it this way. So I guess I'm going to do a little performance here, and I'm just going to read through the whole poem. It might help to be looking at it as I'm reading so you can follow along. And again, I just want you to think about what we can get out of it by hearing it out loud like this versus your experience of just reading it on your own. Okay, here we go. All right, this is going to be tough. All right, bear with me. Here we go. Hear the sledges with the bells, silver bells. What a world of merriment their melody foretells, how they tinkle, tinkle, tinkle in the icy air of night, while the stars that oversprinkle all the heavens seem to twinkle with a crystalline delight, keeping time, time, time in a sort of runic rhyme to the timbulation that so musically wells from the bells, 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 from the jingling and the tinkling of the bells. Hear the mellow wedding bells, golden bells. What a world of happiness their harmony foretells. Through the balmy air of night, how they ring out their delight. From the molten golden notes, and all in tune, what a liquid ditty floats. To the turtle dove that listens while she gloats on the moon. Oh, from out the sounding cells, what a gush of euphony voluminously wells, how it swells, how it dwells on the future, how it tells of the rapture that impels to the swinging and the ringing of the bells, 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 of the bells, 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 to the rhyming and the chiming of the bells. Hear the loud alarm bells, brazen bells. What a tale of terror now their turbulency tells. In the startled car of night, how they scream out their affray. Too much horrified to speak, they can only shriek, shriek, out of tune in a clamorous appealing to the mercy of the fire, in a mad expostulation with a deaf and frantic fire, leaping higher, 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 with a desperate desire, and a resolute endeavor, now to sit or never, by the side of the pale-faced moon. Oh, the bells, 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 what a tale of terror! Damn, what a tale their terror tells of despair, how they clang and clash and roar, what a horror they outpour on the bosom of the palpitating air. Yet the ear it fully knows by the twanging and the clanging, how the danger ebbs and flows, yet the ear distinctly tells in the jangling and the wrangling, how the danger sinks and swells by the sinking or the swelling in the anger of the bells, of the bells, of the bells, 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 in the clamor and the clangor of the bells. Hear the tolling of the bells, iron bells. What a world of solemn thought their monody compels. In the silence of the night, how we shiver with affright at the melancholy malice of their tone. For every sound that floats from the rust within their throats is a groan, and the people, ah, the people, they that dell up in the steeple all alone, and who tolling, tolling, tolling in that muffled monotone, feel a glory in so rolling on the human heart of stone. They are neither man nor woman, they are neither brute nor human, they are ghouls, and their king it is who tolls, and he rolls, 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 a paean from the bells, and his merry bosom swells with the paean of the bells, and he dances and he yells, keeping time, 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 in a sort of runic rhyme to the paean of the bells, keeping time, 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 in a sort of runic rhyme to the throbbing of the bells, 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 to the sobbing of the bells, keeping time, 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 as he knells, 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 in a happy runic rhyme to the tolling of the bells, 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 to the tolling of the bells, 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 to the moaning and the groaning of the bells. That wasn't very good. I could have done better. I messed up a number of times. I did my best though. So I hope you guys were able to catch that. So yeah, like I said, and this video is going to go along with your discussion, right? So maybe now you want to turn to the discussion. But I want you guys to think about is just like what do we get from the rhythm and the rhyming? What's added by hearing that out loud? In my best attempt to read it. How does it change from the beginning to the end? Um, and yeah, I don't know. I just think that the structure and the rhythm of the poem is like the point, you know? So I want us to dig deeper into that in the discussion and see what else we can find about it. And maybe see if that gives us a little more appreciation from poetry and again, just to put us in the correct mindset of how we need to think about poetry as we start to analyze it. All right. I hope you enjoy the reading. See you later.